Hi, welcome to Chapel Street's virtual happy hour and the final hour of Do More 24. So excited. This is our second annual happy hour. We're calling it the second round and very thrilled to have you here. I'm Brian Touchette. I'm secretary of the board. I'm also temporarily covering the technical side of the theater as well, and all things tech. Very pleased to have people here. Just a second. Hold on. Sorry. Of course. Alexa, stop music. Sorry. Every Friday night. This is for real. That was not. Alexa, stop music. All right. At 5 o'clock on Fridays, this is no joke. Our little friend over here, who I probably should mute, says that it's time for happy hour and then plays the hamster dance song. So, okay, here we go. Now we're going to start. We're going to keep going. As you can tell, this is unrehearsed. And what could go wrong? It's happy hour. And during this time, I'm going to be talking to friends. And we also have a very special guest here that's in person in my house that I'll be introducing you to. We'll be watching videos. My cocktail right now is a New York Sour. Thank you, Peter, for muting that. And when Peter gets back upstairs, he will tell you what's in a New York Sour. You can chat with us online. Peter will toss any notes up that are things that I should be aware of and things to keep track of. So, Peter,
Yes.
Can you tell us what's in this drink?
So basically, this is a typical whiskey sour. So if you are making your favorite proportion of your whiskey, your lemon, and then your simple syrup together, and then you just need to put about ½ ounce of red wine on top. So it creates these beautiful layers. So that is a New York sour.
Peter introduced this to me. I don't even remember how long ago that was. I think it was it has to have been at least probably 5 or 6 months ago. And I like a lot of sour drinks. And when he mentioned it to me and then mentioned that it had red wine in it, I didn't think this was going to be good. It has become one of my favorite cocktails that he's made. So cheers to everybody in that's watching. That's really good. That's really good. All I had was breakfast today, so I think I was going to make this a lot more fun as we go along. My special guest did bring some snacks for me, and so we'll probably be munching on that too as we're going along. So please chat with me while I'm on here. Tell me what you're drinking. Tell me your favorite drinks, whatever your beverage of choice is. Today around 5:30-ish or so, we'll be announcing who the winner was of the virtual variety show. Last night, Chapel Street, we've had quite a few different things over the last 24 hours. And last night, during the virtual variety show, we had 8 acts that were performing. They all were virtual also. They had all submitted recordings. And so people were able to vote today and last night for the person the act that they liked the most. And so we have the winner for that, and they'll be announced around 5:30. And they'll also win a very special award that you'll learn about as we are getting to, when we talk about that and say who won. So a couple other things then for you to know, because this is part of a big fundraiser for us. And this is part of one of the other things that I am involved with. Hi, Celia. It's great to see you. I'm hoping today we do better with names. We shall see. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm horrible at remembering names, even for people I've known for a long time. So, but we got yours. Celia was one of the people that performed last night, and was really funny. I really enjoyed that. So one of the things that we wanted to also make sure you understood is that this is part of a campaign fundraiser for us. And Peter, if you get a chance, I didn't have a chance to check the total and where we are right now. Our goal is for $10,000. And so we have some very generous people that have been donating over this time. And so we just want to thank you for all the generosity. You can use the website, our website, to go to donate, or there'll also be a QR code. Peter will put that up in a moment. And hi, Jeff, it's great to see you. So right now we have raised $4,640. So we're still a little bit shy, certainly. We're about halfway there to our goal. In this last hour, if we also are one of the top 3 fundraisers in our category for money, this is one of the few that they're doing, how much money you raise during this time, then we get an additional $1,000. So this is really critical in this time for us to really get those last bits of donations in that we can. There are a little bit later, or in a moment, you'll be seeing a video of other ways that you might be interested in donating for things that were specific. Last year, you might remember that we started our Take a Seat campaign. And during that fundraiser for the Do More 24, we were able to raise a fair bit of money just because of the chairs. This year, we've added on a couple other things so that you can take part of Chapel Street home with you. And so any donation is good. We appreciate any donation. The minimum is $5. We appreciate any donation and what you're able to give. We'll also be talking about other ways that you can donate besides financially a little bit later as well. So without, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into then our first video, which is a video that explains other ways that you can donate to the theater and take part of Chapel Street home with you. As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special incentive for our Chapel Street patrons, volunteers, and friends. As many of you have heard, CSP is working with Lang Development to build us a brand new theater. And even better news, it has plenty of parking. The plans continue to move forward, and we hope to inform you soon when we will be breaking ground at the new site. Last year, we started our Take a Seat campaign, and this was wildly successful, and seats are still available. This year, we have added 2 new items as part of the campaign for you to buy. One feature of our building that makes it stand out from the surrounding homes are the bricks. After we move, this building will be replaced, and some of you may want a piece of Chapel Street to keep as a memory. We are announcing a new Pick a Brick campaign. You can help CSP pave the way to a new theater by picking a brick from the old theater for $100. We will stencil onto each brick Chapel Street Theater 1969 to 2024, which are the years this little brick building was our home. As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special price, and you can pick a brick for only $80. Another place in our theater that holds many memories and layers of paint is our stage. The current stage was replaced a little over 20 years ago, and we have seen many volunteers tread these boards, and we want to give you the opportunity to share the stage with our actors. We are announcing the Share the Stage campaign, and you can buy a piece of our stage. It will be at least 8 inches by 8 inches and will have a label so you will always know that this came from Chapel Street and the years we were in this space. For the Share the Stage campaign, the pieces of the stage will cost $50, but for the Do More 24, you can get your part of the stage for $40. When you donate during Do More 24, please indicate if you would like a brick, a piece of the stage, or for $120, you can get both. We thank you in advance for your generosity, and we would also like to thank Do More 24, Spur Impact, and the United Way of Delaware, along with the many sponsors who are giving additional incentives and bonuses during this event. And finally, we would like to thank the Delaware Division of the Arts for their continued support of artists across the state of Delaware and to Chapel Street players. So that is part of our new campaign, and I have some guests joining me that we're going to talk about not only the campaign, but other things. I have, and Peter, you can bring them in whenever you want. That's how you donate. You can go to our website, or for those of you that know how to use the QR codes, you can take a picture of that. Also, Peter is streaming below the names of people who have given over the past 23 hours and 10 minutes And we thank all of you for your generosity. We've had so many people who have donated, and we really appreciate it. If you know Chapel Street, we do not usually ask for money in this way, but we are now trying to fundraise for a new theater, which we'll be talking about later, and I'll actually be showing you some of the initial floor plans for that as well. But we don't usually ask for money in this way, and so we just thank you for your generosity. So for the people that are joining us, it's Scott F. Mason, president of the theater. He's also co-MC for the virtual variety hour from last night. There's also Michelle Cullen, artistic development, and also she's the VP for artistic development, and also she was part of the noon Danish hour, which I'll talk about. That's the way I love to refer to it. We've had all sorts of ways that we refer to that. We also, and she was also, a variety guest performer last night. In addition, Judith David, chair of, I'm just going to call it Being Nice. And so if we can make sure that they're unmuted, Peter. And also part of the noon Danish hour and a variety guest. And then you've already heard the voice of Peter Kuo, marketing. He's the marketing chair, and he's the one who makes all of this work and makes us look good. So I also see we just got $1,000 donation. Thank you so much. Sorry, I have to just lean forward to read the name, from KD Panda. And so thank you so much for the $1,000 donation. For I'm guessing you want a chair. We will be reaching out to you. So first, my friends, so good to see you. Cheers. Cheers to you all.
Cheers.
Why don't you tell me what you're drinking? Michelle. Oh, no.
I'm actually, my boyfriend this year got me a, what do you call that at Christmas time when you open up something every day?
Oh, Advent.
Advent, thank
calendar.
You.
Yeah.
A wine Advent calendar. And so everything in it, now they weren't huge bottles of wine. There's like 2 glasses in here. And everything in it was different, and they don't exactly explain. So this is called Nightfall Monastrell from Spain, and it's actually quite dry, has a little bit of a tang. So every time I open a new bottle, it's like a new experience. Like I don't know what I'm going to get. And if I get through all of that, I have something from the country of Georgia. So that will be next.
Great. Well, you'll have to let us when you open that and what you think of Georgia. So now, Judy and Scott, whatever you were drinking looked delicious.
Yes. It was a great face.
So it started out like this. Do you see this little ball?
It's like a golf ball.
It's a little smaller than a golf ball, but yes, and it was a lovely gift from a good friend for Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, it's the variety pack cocktail bomb, and you drop these little. First of all, you got to try to figure out what color matches the flavor. It's like trying to pick out Jelly Bellies, and so I think I have a lemon drop. Well, first you drop this ball in 6 ounces of seltzer water. You have to let it fizz for 5 minutes like an Alka-Seltzer, and then you pour in your alcohol of choice and ice. We've agreed that it sort of tastes like powdery Kool-Aid with alcohol thrown on top. Like, you remember those straws with the powder used to suck?
Yeah.
Pixie straws.
It's like it's like somebody dumped a pixie stick into, alcohol and ice. And yeah.
But for me, and I think because I really have a dislike for seltzer, to me it tastes like someone made like that random berry, nobody knows what berry, Kool-Aid with salt water. That's what it tastes like to me.
It is kind of salty.
Yummy.
Peter just ran down and showed me that we have also 2 different ones. Although,
all right, I double ordered, by accident. So
so we got the extra.
No, you got 2, and he got 2 because I ordered 2, and then I did it twice.
Well, I'm glad because there was no label on the bag, and so what I was worried about were these bath bombs or were they?
but they might be better as a bath bomb.
They could work better as Judy said, as a bath bomb. I mean,
it's tasty.
I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, enjoy. Yeah.
When you're not drinking these, what are your favorite drinks?
Since Judy's appetizing, I would say mine, of course, is a gin martini. Are we allowed to make a plug for the brand?
Sure. We can do product placement. Maybe they'll give us some money.
Yeah, so Bombay Sapphire or Hendrix or Dogfish Head gin. Yeah. Straight dry martini. Lovely.
Yeah.
And Judy can now answer the question, or Michelle can jump in.
Yeah, no, I like vodka, but really, really annoyingly expensive vodka. Like Box is my favorite, and I don't think they even make it anymore, but Grey Goose is also okay for me. I like it on the rocks with a little splash of lime, and if I'm really not trying to get too drunk, I'll throw some Sprite or something in there, but not seltzer, because
I know Michelle loves wine. Is there a favorite cocktail?
I wonder what would happen if you just dropped it.
I don't know cocktail per se. I drink a lot of Baileys, as you all know, and all different flavors of Baileys is something of a pastime of mine, I guess. People buy them for me for gifts, and I try all different kinds of flavors. So I drink that probably more than wine these days.
Okay. I remember, I think it was like a little bit ago, like 5 months ago or so, I also learned that you were a cognac lover.
Yes, I do love cognac. And I don't usually, it's funny, I don't make cocktails with it usually. I did make, I think, a sidecar last cocktail party. But I do tend to just pour it in a brandy glass and
that's the best way.
Yeah, and drink it like that.
Michelle, did you hear they're coming out with a Shamrock Shake Bailey's? Like the Shamrock Shake that McDonald's makes. There's a Shamrock. There's a Shamrock Shake Bailey's.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to see Susan. Susan is watching. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Susan was one of our artists last night who sang. For those of you who've been with Chapel Street from before COVID, you would know her from frequenting the stage. Also, my assistant director for quite a few shows, amazing assistant director, amazing singer, wonderful actor, and Florida Venice Theater down there, where she treads the boards, is her space, and it's so good to see you, Susan. And also, just a little plug for Venice Theater. The hurricane from last fall did some devastating damage to Venice Theater. So if you are giving, please look up Venice Theater in Florida. It's a theater that I've seen shows there. It's a beautiful theater space, and the stage itself and the whole part of the stage was completely destroyed. So please, as I'm just going to give a little plug for a sister theater, even though they're far away. And then up there, you also see how you can donate to us as well. And there's also a lot of other ways that other people can help out. Do some of you want to talk about some of the other ways that people can help besides just giving money?
Besides money, we also need your muscles. Or if you don't have muscles, then we need your fingers to do filing. We've got to go through everything at the theater, which as an old building has tons of nooks and crannies full of God knows what. And we have to pull it all out and decide what we're going to take and what we're not going to take. Then we have to pack it up. We also need people who can be like, oh, we need to get the electricity turned on. And when do we get the electricity turned off, and water? And, how do we transfer our bills? And so there's a lot of paperwork to be done. And you can take the survey. There it is. Yeah. And then it's weird because we started the survey, but we can't really start packing until like June. A few things. We're going to start a little bit. So we're meeting. It's my fault. We were supposed to meet Tuesday, and then I had another promise I'd made to try to get hold of all the people who have asked so far. And there's lots of people that seem willing to help. So we're really happy about that, and then hopefully they'll stay involved and come to the new theater with us and help us, get that going. Great.
Thank you. We are, we are looking for ways that people can help and even across different areas. I'm a co-chair with Zach, and he and I are always looking for extra help in terms of fundraising, or if you have experience with events. We already have a few names that I have to reach out to. And so also another way, as part of our capital campaign, we are also looking for, if you know people who are large donors that have money that are looking for a spry little theater that they might want to give some money to, then please just feel free to reach out to me and contact me. You'll find our contact info on our website, which is chapelstreetplayers.org, and you can just email any of the addresses on there, and then it will get to us. So thank you. So next, Peter and I were at the theater probably about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and we had an opportunity to record some CSP veterans. These are people who are longtime volunteers. They're actors, directors, tech people, patrons. I mean, they're pretty much covering the gamut in terms of that. We currently have 3 videos up. Each recording was basically about 45 minutes to about an hour and a half. And we based this off of a movie called Tea with the Dames, but we decided to name it a little bit different. You'll see when you see the promo for this. But we have 3 videos out there right now to ask about their first experiences as part of the theater. Their fondest memory was the second one, and then the last one was when something goes wrong. So we're going to be videotaping more in the future. We have other people that we want to videotape. This is part of us building our history. So for instance, Don Pruden, who many of you probably know is another long-time volunteer, we're also want to interview, and others. Also, my very special guest that's going to join as soon as this video is over is one of the people who was interviewed. And so you'll see that person after. So and here is our very special guest, Dr. Renee G. O'Leary. So I always get excited when I'm with Renee. And we're just so happy to have you here as part of this. I think it'd probably be appropriate to say that you're the grand dame, I think, at the theater.
Wow.
With your...
Really?
Yes, I think so.
My claim to fame.
Yes. And so, but so excited to have you. So I'm actually going to make us a drink. The last time I did this last year, it was not pretty. So we will see how this goes today. Sorry, you're going to see.
Well, pretty is one thing. Does it taste good? That's
It'll
something
taste
else.
good. I'm just going to bring this down so you can see me make this. I'm making an Aperol Spritz. An Aperol Spritz has, and then I need to look at my notes. And I just realized this is what happened last year. I didn't have everything I needed. I need this so I can do measurements. So an Aperol Spritz is 2 parts of the base, and the base can be different things, but in this case, we're using Aperol. Probably, I don't know. I think, is Aperol only made by one person, Peter? Do you know?
What's that?
Is Aperol only made by one company, or?
It's kind.
Okay, I just worry about product placement stuff, but.
Just tell them to make comments. Online.
So 2 parts of that. Thank you, Peter. And I'm making you one too, Peter. And then Just a second. And then it's 1 part of club soda. And then after that, there's also different kinds of spritzes you can make. This is actually sort of like a whole range. You can also do a Campari spritz. Campari is very similar to Aperol in terms of its flip profile. There's another one, and then Peter showed me this one. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm gonna guess Sinar, but somebody please write if you if that is not correct. Whoop. Well, and there's the lid down on the ground. We're already off to a good start, Renee. So 1 part club soda.
That color is beautiful.
I know. I love this drink. I'm going to go ahead and put some ice in. Oh, it's over here, this side. Peter's used to this. So he told me I had to use the stemless glasses because if I used the stem ones, I would sure to either break one or to really, oh, thank you for the orange, or really make a mess. So Peter also makes a good sous chef. I'm happy to have him come over to your house for a nominal fee, and he can help you as well. All right. Then one of the other things that we have while Peter opens the sparkling is you're supposed to have a piece of a what? Yeah, I'm just going ahead and just cutting this. Lemon, which will be, or no, sorry, that's an orange. That will be, yeah, no, that's an orange that we will be also using in this. So we're supposed to have then 3 parts of sparkling. I'll just tell you though, I just pour it in until it's like enough sparkling of what I want. And that's a great sound, isn't it?
That's a good bottle.
I know. Just say when, Renee.
Oh, when?
Good. Okay. And then
Thank you.
Yep, just give me a sec. I'm probably going to pour more into ours. Yeah, that looks like 3 parts. All right. And then Peter's got 3 parts. All right. Then next, we're going to take the orange and sort of twist it a little bit over, and that's going to get some of the
Essence.
thank you, essence.
How did you
Just run around the rim. Then there's Renee's.
such artistry? Wow. Many talents.
Yeah, I've watched many bartenders, including Peter, put these together. Okay. And then there's yours, Peter. There's yours, Renee. And then let me put this up so we can see our faces. Hold on. I'm going to crash to the floor.
There we go.
Oh, Chinar. Thank you. Chinar. Thank you, Jeff.
Cheers.
And cheers. Ooh, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, I love the Aperol. The other one that I didn't talk about yet, the other kind, it's actually, when you make it, it's called a Golden Gate Spritz, but it has Amaro in it. Now, this wasn't the specific brand, but this is something that that we've used for Amaro that we had at a restaurant that we loved. So more product placement. Maybe they'll give us money. Oh, it's Chinar. Soft CH. Wait, what's a soft? Shanar. All right, I'm gonna have to work on this one. Thank you, Celia. Celia is a wealth of information.
We could use that.
We could use that. Let me just lift that up just a little bit more. All right. We'll do, Jeff. You're just gonna have to fly across the country, but we will, or we'll package and send it to you. I'm sure it'll travel well.
Oh, sure.
So Renee, you were part of these videos, and you know part of what I loved about this is I'm hearing history, because Phil Hall was also part of this, and so even though he started after you, he went back to the beginning of when Chapel Street moved to our current space. Your history goes back a little bit before that time.
It does indeed. It goes all the way back to University Drama Group and performances at Mitchell Hall.
Yeah,
Those were the good old days, but then it got better.
Well,
I have to say that.
yeah. So before they moved from the university to Chapel Street, it had a different name, of course, because they weren't on Chapel Street. And I've seen pictures. In fact, in a little bit, we're going to see a video montage that has some pictures that go all the way back to the 30s, before your time. but go back to
I'm
the
not so sure.
but go
Before the 30s, yeah.
yes, but go back to that time and because we have all these photos and things from previous, and we have not really shown these that much publicly, and it's great to be able to see some of the sets and the costumes and the things that they had back then. So now I know also you have a very special place at Chapel Street in terms of, I've directed you several times in these things, the fundraisers.
Yes. How blessed I am to have been a part of every single Chapel Street fundraiser. And I'm happy to be part of this Do More 24 fundraiser too.
I'm excited you're here too. And so, as much as we've had to, the past two, we were virtual partly because, well, the first year was nobody could get near anybody. And then last year, just because of the restrictions, we still were not really around each other a whole lot. So it's just really nice to be back around people. So your experience then with the original fundraisers go back to Anderson's Barn,
Yes,
which was the first place.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit? So I grew up on a small family farm, and I had family who raised dairy cows. So in my head, I have a vision of what this barn is like, but I'm pretty sure it is not like that.
Well, it was, but not when we got there.
So I didn't have animals then.
They had all gone.
That would have been, it's hard enough with crying babies in the audience. A cow mooing or a sheep blaying in the background would be pretty bad.
They always steal the scene. It's like children, dogs, and they would steal the scene. No, there were no animals. It was all cleaned out. The theater was in the round. We set up chairs, dragged in what we needed, and it was a beautiful time.
Oh, wow. So I didn't actually realize it was in the round. So
yes.
So was this a place, was it used for something else? I mean, were you able to rehearse there whenever you needed, or was it used for other things, or?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Right. When we were getting ready to do our fundraiser, it was ours.
Okay.
We rehearsed there, so on and so forth. Did it all.
Okay.
At Anderson's Barn.
Now,
it was great.
I know, although the fundraisers, at least now, are all in June. Were the fundraisers then the same time period?
Yes.
I can imagine it was really hot, though. I know how bad it is in the theater.
Well, you open the barn.
Oh, that's true. You can open the barn.
Open up the barn doors and let the fresh air come in.
Oh, yeah. Are there any interesting stories that you have in terms of at the barn, or other things in terms of your time at Chapel Street?
Well, the barn was it was just great. But I'll never forget, nor will many others that were around then, a show called Not Now, Darling, in which I had on a full-length mink coat with only the essentials underneath. And boy, when it was time to flip it, you had to do it quickly and be very careful. So that was fun. I mean, they were all fun. Many of the folks who used to be there with me aren't there anymore, but the memories will always be there.
Can you tell me a little bit about what Chapel Street means to you?
Oh, it's half my life. There's the real life. That's what you do every day to make it all work. And then there's the fun life. I mean, Chapel Street offers everything. Friends, purpose, things to do. It's just what develops between the people involved with producing the production is just unbelievable.
I agree. Cheers to that.
Cheers
to that.
Oh, yeah. Pick those glasses up. Cheers to that.
Cheers. It's interesting because in one of the videos, when it wasn't a question that we asked, we didn't ask anything about what does the theater mean to people. And there was a question that we asked about fondest memories. And in that, the conversation in both groups, we filmed the dames separate from the dukes. And in both conversations, they each shifted to what Chapel Street meant to them, that Chapel Street's a family and how it's a home for us. And so it was wonderful to hear them talk about that. So the next thing that you're going to have a chance to see is a video going back to the 1930s. I love that this is going back into our older shows and things like that. Peter's done a wonderful job of putting this together. It's also from our historian archives, which you are very familiar with.
Oh my, yes.
Renee is a historian on our board and is responsible for going through the files to try to organize, separate actually put pictures into folders for the years that they are and try to organize that. So I know these will be, I'm sure, many things that you will recognize as we're going through.
Well, That will be fun.
All right, here's the video. I love seeing these videos. When you come into our theater, for those of you who haven't been there, and before the shows now, we have a screen down and we're showing pictures from previous productions. And it's just so wonderful to see. What was interesting there, because you're seeing a mix of shows that were across before even Chapel Street, before we moved to where we are currently. And it's just so wonderful. We are up to $6,500 in donations. Thank you so much. 3,500 more towards our goal. Truly appreciate the generosity during this hour. This one is really important for us, particularly to hopefully to get the extra $1,000. That is part of that bonus. But even if we didn't get that, we still just appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much. So now I'm going to welcome back my friends and start and talk a little bit about early memories. We also need to jump into the variety show winner, but we will start there of whenever we get a chance, Peter, to bringing them back. And then, and there we are. So I was curious. So one of the questions that we asked of the people that came in for the Tea with the Dames was, thank you, Jenny, was about one of your fondest memories of CSP. We can start with any, jump in.
I'm starving food.
Not Michelle, because she's eating. Or we can just watch her eat. Make her uncomfortable.
You said fondest memories, Brian.
Fondest, sorry, yes. About what are your fondest memories of CSP?
I think I'd have to say it was the first time I directed at Chapel Street Players. I'm sure other directors might say the same thing. I mean, I directed a one act back when I joined in 89, 90. You had to do a one act first before you could direct a main stage. So I was proud of the little one act, but then my first main stage was Rumors. And it was a 2-level set, and it was Neil Simon, and I had seen it on Broadway, one of my favorite Neil Simons, and I got to direct that, and it was the first time I was working with a lot of legends of Chapel Street, including Renee O'Leary, and I was just I was young, and here's all these older people than me working at Chapel Street, and it was it was a lot of fun, and I'll never forget it because it was my first main stage, so it always will stand out. Though I've been proud of other work, obviously, it was the first, and I won't. You can go watch the Dukes and Dames video, but Richard Cohen tells a really funny story about a bat, which I was chuckling when I heard it because that was I believe he was wrong. It was opening night, so it was my opening night of my first show at Chapel Street, and that bat was flying around. And the part he didn't mention, so you'll hear the rest of the story from him, but the part that he didn't mention was that Pam Huxtable, that was her first show at Chapel Street, and she was doing a monologue on the phone where she's calling about the guy who shot himself in the ear, and you could tell that she was aware of the bat because she was like, you could just tell, and I knew she knew the bat because you couldn't miss it. It was flying around the lights, and at one point, I forget what the noun was that she was supposed to say, but she said bat. Like the word bat came out of her mouth, and like audience laughed, and then Richard said it got out by ushers. It's not correct. I actually walked down the aisle and stopped the show because the audience wasn't paying a bit of attention to the beginning of the show, and then we opened the door and it flew out.
Gosh, I have.
Go ahead, Michelle.
I thought we were continuing with the fondest memory. I have so many. It's hard to pick, but I think mine is most recent. I did direct my favorite play of all time. And I didn't think I could do it. And all of my friends, all of you convinced me to do it. And it turned out to be a really magical experience, Enchanted April. And that was fabulous because, again, it was my dream play. So that was a lot. But weirdly enough, the most recent directorial experience with Come Back to the Five and Dime Jimmy Dean, holds a special place in my heart because it was a mostly female cast. And then Judy was my stage manager. So we had significantly female, with shout out to Alex, who was the sole male. So I don't want to discount him. But there's something about, when women will often say as you get older, right, there just really aren't really good parts for older women. Men seem to have a lot written for them. And I think this was a great opportunity for powerhouse female actresses at Chapel Street. So there was that part, but then there was the camaraderie off stage, and all of those things combined, all those elements combined, was just really a magical experience, and just a lot of fun, and everybody in the cast got along, which doesn't always happen. So I would say, even though that's the most recent, that's probably one of the best experiences that I'll remember for a while.
Cool.
And I'm sorry if I keep standing up. There's a screen behind my screen that I'm trying to keep up with, and I can't see it past my computer, so I have to keep sort of looking.
I can tell you, we're up to $7,210.
Thank you.
Wow.
Please give us the last little bit. We want to make 10,000, and you got 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
10 checks. No, don't do checks because they won't count them.
We
During
were
the next video,
I'm gonna give us money. Give us money. And I got a new drink, so I'm happy about that.
I think.
Oh, good.
Brian, didn't you say if we got to the $10,000 that you and Peter would give your services one night making drinks for somebody? Isn't that what you said?
I think so. Yeah, I think we should do that.
How do we choose that person though?
Random lottery.
Yeah,
Put all the
random.
names in the bowl.
No, I'd say the person who just donates 2,000 and pushes us over the limit.
Oh,
the
there you
highest
go.
the highest donation gets not only a seat, but you and Peter to make them drinks.
Yes.
For 2,000, we would do that. For 2,000 at Chapel Street, we would
All
do
right,
that.
people. You got
Yeah.
All right, well,
15
we need
minutes to have your own
2,800.
personal
Okay.
bartender
Good.
come
About
to your house.
790, but let's do the math. Okay, math is hard. But all right, so for me, actually, most of my really fun memories revolve around when we used to do competitions. I mean, I love Chapel Street and I always have, but I can't even begin to think how many wonderful times I've had at the different competitions, meeting people from all over the Eastern Seaboard, and hearing about their stories and hearing about their theaters and learning from them. Like Brian and I still to this day, like think about blocking in a new way because of one of the workshops we went to.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah,
me,
it changed my whole
ultimately,
idea. That changed my idea of even scene changes.
yeah,
I mean,
it really did.
It
And
was
I'm like,
incredible. Yeah.
yeah. And so it's always been a really amazing experience. And then we were lucky enough. We made it to Eastern States Theater with Zoo Story that had only 2 actors and a bench, a very expensive bench. And I'd been around enough, and I was also trained as an adjudicator. So I kind of knew we were in the top just from listening. And so I could tell kind of who the top 3 were. And when they started announcing and they announced the 3rd person, I'm like, oh my God, we made top 2. Then they announced 2nd place and it was the other show. And I swear to God, I felt like my heart literally stopped in my chest until they said that we had won. It was that like amazing to like know. I knew we were in the top, but you never know where. And to know that we won and we were going to nationals, which turned out to be a lot of fun because the director's parents lived in Rochester where it was, and we got to go like up and stay at their house or stay at hotels. It was just, they were always so much fun because so many people are so passionate about community theater, and just seeing what they know and learning what they know was always one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
I think you should also talk about your international experience.
Oh, Lord. No, we did. We went to, there's an international festival in Liverpool, Canada, which they tricked me and said we were going to Liverpool. And I said, okay, I'm signed up. And they didn't say it was in Canada. But no, we had a lovely time there. And we came in second. And Audrey Savali, who was the author, got like a prize for best author, which is what I was really there for. And I did get best actress, and that was kind of cool. So,
Internationally best actress.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a really, really beautiful play. So it was a lot of fun, and same thing. Like I loved when we did Most Massive Woman Wins, because at that competition, I think that was the same one, Brian. We went around acting like we were goofballs and that our play was about goofballs. It was actually a very serious play that ended sort of like in that dun-dun moment.
Yeah.
And so everyone was like super stunned because they thought it was just about a bunch of fat ladies. Because it was a bunch of fat ladies in a liposuction clinic.
It was so
Must
good.
be funny.
It was such a beautiful show.
Yeah.
No, I have a lot of good memories of that and meeting people from other theaters and seeing shows that I wouldn't have seen. So it was wonderful. So I'm very aware of time, and so I'm just going to push us into. So we are getting closer and closer. We have about 12 minutes left until 6 o'clock. And only money that is donated until then is part of that. I mean, we always appreciate anything after that, but will be part of this campaign. I want to move into, from last night, the virtual variety show. We had 8 submissions for different acts, ranging from spoken word to singing to other things as well. And so the winner was chosen by the number of individual donations that they got. And so the prize for this person will be 2 free tickets to the opening gala of the new theater in 2024.
Ooh, fancy.
And so I'm not even going to announce who it is. We're just going to go right into the video.
Hi, I'm Pat Cullinane, and I am going to be doing a monologue that I wrote myself. So here goes. Maybe the linen pantsuit she wore to Mike's wedding, or that paisley suit she always wore to work. Either one of those would have been perfect, except that I made her get rid of them. All right, now, in my defense, okay, my mother had closets, plural, full of clothes. I mean, she stuffed her closet, obviously. Once us kids moved out, she stuffed our closets. The woman even had to buy rolling racks to put in the spare room. I mean, she loved to put together an outfit. Okay, from the dress to the jewelry to the matching shoes, the matching handbag. She was always the prettiest woman in the room. We used to say men wanted her and women wanted to be her. I don't know. I loved it. I mean, it was fun having a pretty mommy. She knew when she moved in with me, she could not bring all those clothes. I mean, what did I have to offer this woman? 2 rooms and a hall closet. I told her, Mom, half of these clothes don't even fit you. And not only do they not fit you, they don't even fit your life anymore. I mean, when was the last time you wore a dress? I mean, come on. Ever since she retired, her attire was, jeans and a sweatshirt, usually with a cat on it. She knew she couldn't bring him to my house. But man, oh man, she hated to let them go. I've been thinking about that conversation. Because today I have to find something to bury her in. They don't fit you anymore, Mom. You don't need them anymore, Mom. Why do you have these, Mom? I don't know. I just got to pick something. I mean, anything. What does it matter anymore? Except, I don't know. I mean, even now, I just wanted to be the prettiest woman in the room.
That's like pretty amazing.
Wow.
I know. Pat is a longtime volunteer from Chapel Street that we've known for quite a while, and then moved, as others have also moved far enough away that she's not able to do performances anymore. Was it South Carolina? I don't remember which Carolina it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she and Don can come up to the event then, since they have free tickets. And just
I know. Yeah, if you get free tickets now to come up for the gala event, and so, but we had some amazing performances. I will say the votes were very close on this, and so she just has such an amazing way of not only storytelling but also just the monologues that she writes. I follow her on Facebook. I love reading the writings that she does and things like that. So thank you and congratulations. So we are down to about 6 minutes left. Right now we're at 7,735.
Give us money.
We're pushing closer. We're getting close.
$2,000 and Peter and Brian will make you drinks.
Right. Or just everybody we know give $5. That's fine too. Like if you've ever been on stage, if you've ever worked backstage, give us some money right now.
Yeah. We are really short on time, Peter. I don't know if we're gonna have time to go into the stuff of, like, to show the things about the new theater. We can do that at 6 o'clock. Or for June. We can do that in June. How about that? But just to give sort of a taste, could each person talk about, and I'll start with Renee, one thing that you are most excited about with the new theater?
Parking.
That is true. There will be plenty of parking that is right next to the theater. Fantastic. Scott?
Nothing breaking down.
Well, yeah, that is true. Over the past, it seems like in 6 months, the old girl knows that we're leaving her because she's starting to rebel a little bit, and we're having more and more issues. Certainly, it's getting harder and harder to do things there with everything breaking. Judy?
Handicap accessible, one level. I think that's going to be awesome.
There are no stairs in this theater. It is going to be amazing. In our theater, there was pretty much no way to get around any place without going upstairs.
It's like
And
an Escher drawing.
it is like an extra drawing. You're right. We might as well have upside down stairs in that theater. It is going to be amazing that it's all on. It's all there's ramps that come down in the house. We'll actually have 2 entrances into the theater space. There's 2 aisles, so we know people love aisle seating, and so there'll be 2 aisles in the theater space as well, so more aisle seating, and that's going to be just amazing. Michelle,
Wing space.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
the wing space is so. For those of you who may not have seen Chapel Street, it's a small renovated church, and what is the stage is literally from wall to wall. And there's these 2 little doors going off the back, one into the green room, the other going into this other area, which used to be outdoors, but many years ago they added on to there, so now it's covered. But to get out that door, you actually have to duck down because the door is 2 feet shorter than a normal door, and so you have to duck.
What are you talking about? I had no problem with that door, Brian.
We don't have any wings, which are the places that are off stage that normally in a theater people could wait before they go on stage. So we always have to build our sets so that we're building in the wings. So your sets always end up being smaller and tighter because you have to have room for people to move around backstage. I think that's amazing. I think for me, the thing I'm most excited about is just the difference in space that we have. The stage and the lobby especially, are so much larger than what we have right now. The changing the lobby in that way is going to be massive for us in terms of the audience coming in and not having to be crammed into a small lobby or having to go down some pretty steep stairs into the lower level of the theater. And so I'm really excited about that from the audience experience side.
The lobby size will be 7 times bigger than what we have right now, so you can actually picture 7 times bigger.
It is incredible just to think about the difference that's going to make just in the audience experience. So we're down to the final minutes. We have one last video we wanted to show, but I just want to do a quick update on where we are to see if we've gone any more. We're still at 7,735. You still have 2 minutes. So we're going to show one more video that is that will pretty much bring us to the 6 o'clock hour, and then we will come back. So please give during this video.
Hello. In the true spirit of our community theater, we're inviting you to participate in the singing of our anthem for Do War 24.
So, when we give you the high sign or the thumbs up, all you have to do is sing Chapel Street.
Chapel Street.
Okay, let's rehearse.
Okay.
Chapel Street. Chapel Street. Got it. Good?
We got it? We got it.
All right, here we
go. Play on. We're still here.
The kings will make it clear the hijinks must continue all the year. Every time we have a call for an audition, we search for budding talent near and far. We welcome writers, actors, and technicians to Chapel Street. Chapel Street.
Chapel Street.
Chapel Street.
There's not much place to park your car.
But at Chapel Street, Chapel Street,
you
have a chance to be a star. Someday soon we'll have a shiny new location with room for storing costumes, props and more. With comfy seating for all of our patrons of Chapel Street. Chapel Street, a theater where everyone is welcome to sing or act, sell tickets, paint the floor. The memories of this spot will never be forgot, and we'll have a parking lot.
Thank you.
Street.
Yes, Chapel Street.
Yeah, Chapel Street, right.
Thank you to Bill and Susan King. They were one of the acts last night, and I think that's going to have to be something that we're going to have to be playing a lot over the next few months from them. So thank you so much from them. We actually got a lot of requests, or we got some requests to still show, and I'm just going to do it very fast to show some of the updates to the theater. So Peter, if you don't mind, and can jump over to that. I'm just going to do this really quickly to go through. This is Chapel Street stage right now. And it's about 30 feet across. And so the new stage will look like this. The blue areas are where the wings are. So that's like a huge change for us. Also, as we're going through this, just understand these are still draft plans. We're still working through these. As I said, our current stage doesn't have wings. It doesn't even have curtains. So we're actually going to have curtains. We're going to have wings. And then if we go out into the lobby, or I'm sorry, into the auditorium, that's our current stage over that. So you can see the size difference between them.
Board not even say on how that happens when the board hasn't even seen the new stuff yet.
I know.
And so then, and just be aware our mics are on. And so then we're going into the auditorium area. And in the auditorium, you can see that there are 2 aisles in there. Also, there's an area in the back where the booth is. And then the next area is the lobby. And then we'll just show you the lobby comparison. I think we have that. Yeah, and there's the lobby comparison. So it is very different. It is a very different layout than what we have now, and it's going to be pretty amazing. We can go into more detail about these later. So I just want to thank everybody for being part of this. Thank you. And our final number at this point, from what I can see, is just updating. Thank you, Peter. 7,735. Thank you so much for your generosity. We really appreciate all that you've done for us. And thank you, Renee, for being here with me. And Michelle. I think we had got disconnected at one point from Scott and Judy, and they're back from Scott and Judy. And so I just want to thank all of you for being part of this. And I'm just going to check my notes. I think that was it. The final thing that you will see, there are so many people we need to thank. And I'm sorry if we've missed anybody on this, but certainly United Way of Delaware, Spur Impact, Christopher Bruce, and King Creative for all the work that they do. And then certainly Delaware Division of the Arts for their continued support of artists throughout Delaware and Chapel Street. So thank you, and on to the credits.